Good morning. It seems odd to see you or not see you in a different way. I bring you greetings from the Jansen family hermitage here in Mason. I'm coming this morning with an unusual feeling of not seeing people out in front of me, but I trust in your presence, and I wish you all good things, hoping that life for you and your family has been reasonable during this unreasonable time. I'm joined by Francis in the shade garden out next to our pond. And this morning I've been asked to talk a little bit as to what we can't anticipate in life. And I've been alive long enough to know that that's about every day what we expect, what we learn to live with. And so recognizing that pattern in our life, I think is terribly important so that we can be with it in ways that are not harmful to ourselves and others, to learn patience and to kind of set the scene for how this struck me. I'd like to put us in the mind and presence of God by reading briefly to you from the Gospel of John, John 21:18. It's at the very end, after Jesus has asked Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?" And after that little vignette, Jesus says to Peter, "In all truth, I tell you, when you were young, you put on your belt and walked where you liked. But when you grow old, you will stretch out your hands, and somebody else will put a belt around you and take you where you would rather not go." And that's actually what we've all been experiencing. We've gone where we didn't really want to go. Many years ago, I read the book The Holy Longing by Ronald Rolheiser, and his description of the Paschal mystery has sort of become my model for life in many ways. I reflect on it every time something difficult comes along. We have our Good Friday moments, our deaths, our encounters with the side of life that we never wanted to see. Our deaths can come in many ways. Could have to do with jobs, could have to do with people, could have to do with our health. Anything that is a significant loss is a death in our life. And so we have to be with it. We have to sit in liminal time, so to speak, in time that is suspended from answers and time that is suspended from progress. It is just being. And if we can learn to be patient with that liminal time, it helps us to deal with the challenges of whatever it is that's happening and will happen in the future. As Ronald Rolheiser talks about when he's talking about the Paschal mystery, he talks about Pentecost, which is after the time afterwards when we begin to see life in a new way. And hopefully we've learned from what's just happened to us. And he describes Pentecost as a time to grieve our losses, let go of the old, and receive that spirit that Jesus has left for us. It's an ongoing, lifelong mystery. We suffer many losses, countless things that are precious to us. Yet, we're never dead. We're always given new life. But if we are trying to live that new life with our former spirit, we will find ourselves deeply out of sorts. We need Pentecost daily in our lives. It harmonizes our life with its proper spirit. When we learn to live with Pentecost, we learn to stop and look at things so that we don't react too quickly. We don't try to put that square peg in the round hole. We try to be patient with people. We try to have compassion for others. A dear friend of mine sent me this, and I thought I would close with it. Time does not pass. The present holds steady, and we pass through it. We do not spend our days, we accrue them. Our lives are not linear, like a string, but cumulative, like rings of a tree. All the memories, the choices, and the unchosen, feasts and wounds, dry years and wet, are the rings that make up the tree. The child playing outside is still in us. The adult living out their vocation is still in us. The person of prayer, the eve of one day and the day after, and all I have received and given, all of it is God growing in me. None of it would I cut away. Each gift, each loss, each person, each success and failure, another ring. As today I humbly give thanks and count one more ring that firms me and forms me as I stand in this moment and hold new leaves to the sun. We send our prayers and our love and our blessings for all good things in your life. Amen.